It looks as though Hayden Hackney is finally making his move to Everton Football Club. The 23-year-old midfielder is coming from Middlesbrough. He made 38 league appearances for them last season, scoring 5 goals and 8 assists, picking up Championship Player of the Season in the process. There's been a lot of back and forth negotiations between Everton and Middlesbrough, but they've finally agreed a fee of around £16.5 million up front, with potential with add-ons to take that to £24 million. I think it represents a good deal for both clubs. Middlesbrough obviously didn't want to let their best player leave for a cutthroat price, but he was, of course, in the last year of his contract at Middlesbrough. So, they were a little bit stuck for options when it came to wanting a fee, but also maybe letting him run out his contract as well. Everton knew this, obviously, and the player himself did want to join Everton. Luckily for the Toffees, because they spent so long on this transfer, it's no wonder that another club didn't come in and try and pursue that transfer as well. There were rumours, obviously, Crystal Palace being the other name mentioned there with the transfer. But finally, it's been done. Everton have got the player through the door, and I think he'll be a really good addition to the Everton side, who, especially last year, were lacking a lot of maturity and ability to actually use the ball in the middle of the pitch. I'm looking at James Garner being Everton's primary ball player, comfortable on the ball, the only player who would really break down any opposition defence with the balls through from midfield. Tim Iroegbunam and Idrissa Gana Gueye, really solid defensively, but when it comes to actually having the ball at the feet and looking forwards and trying to be positive, they struggle in that respect. So bringing Hackney in, more of a number 8, really good ball carrier. He's good with the ball at his feet. Kind of a bit similar to like a Dewsbury Hall, but plays a bit deeper. So I'm really interested to see how he's going to come into this side. I hope David Moyes plays him, because he was pretty allergic to playing new signings last season. And obviously we've got a really good player on our hands here. So it'd be, remiss of us not to play Hackney in his preferred position and really let him shine in this Everton side. But as I say, really happy that this deal's finally gone through. We've got a real good player on our hands here. A lot of the Middlesbrough fans are really gutted to see him go, but understand that he's, on to much bigger and better things. So hopefully those bigger and better things can be achieved at Everton. Actually, as I'm making this video, there is some breaking news that Tyrique Geroge is apparently on his way back to Everton for a reduced fee of the 25 million, which was initially agreed. It looks as though it could be about 20 million pounds now. Tyrique Geroge obviously spent last year on loan at Everton, and showed some real signs of promise. I was personally a bit upset that Everton weren't going to activate that clause and bring him here on a permanent deal. But it looks as though, as reports El Bobble, that Everton are actually going to potentially agree a deal there with Chelsea. I don't think there's any chance for him to break into that Chelsea team, and he's going to get a lot more minutes playing at Everton than he would, at Chelsea. So I think it's a good deal for him, and I'm really excited to see him back in a blue shirt, because he's a really young, promising player, and it looks as though pairing with Hayden Hackney, then you've got 2 really young, exciting players there who are going to come in and maybe take Everton to that next stage over the coming years. 2 of the names being mentioned to potentially replace Idrissa Gana Gueye, as he potentially looks set to leave the club, are Papa Gueye, his Senegalese teammate, and Mandela Keita of Parma. He's a Belgian 24-year-old, spent last year in Serie A, of course. I think 2 players there who, really physical, good ball winners, potentially lacking a little bit on the ball, as I talked about, but real physical presence, especially watching Papa Gueye at the World Cup. He's an absolute monster in that midfield. Did score 5 goals for Villarreal last season as well. So, 5 goals in that Everton team, would be really, really helpful. But yeah, again, Tyrique Geroge, is potentially on his way out of the club. He's been linked with clubs abroad and also Hull recently. So you've got two potential players leaving Everton in that number 6 position. And finally, Everton have agreed a deal with Chelsea for their academy product, Arthur Barrett. The midfielder was born in 2009, and it's a real statement of intent as Everton are putting now real importance on investment in academy structure and investments for the future. A lot of people have come in behind the scenes at Everton in their recruitment department and their scouting department. So this is a good sign for Everton. I think it's actually a really exciting signing because it shows that Everton are now making moves in the market for these young players who they can invest in early and then sell on later for a high fee. I think he's a really exciting player, and I think Chelsea are a bit disappointed to see him leave, but it's going to be an undisclosed fee, so we're not sure how much it will cost. But Everton have had some good history of signing players on the cheap. Young John Stones, Jared Branthwaite, both signed for around £1 million. But they were from lower league clubs. They came from Carlisle and Sheffield United. So, to get a player from Chelsea is a real statement of intent, and it will be interesting to see what he does this season, whether he'll be in and around the first team or he'll be playing with the under-23s or indeed go out on loan. But it's very exciting because it just shows that Everton are actually making moves and making, real statements of intent when it comes to their recruitment and scouting side of things. So that's very exciting. And it will prove to be our second signing of the window. That's all for today. There's actually loads there jam-packed in, so I hope you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time for the next video. Leave a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it. I'll see you later.